Alright guys, welcome to your first tutorial on HTML and CSS. In this CSS tutorial and HTML, we are going to look at how to build this responsive website, So as you can see, this web page is responsive. Here it has everything aligned nicely. So we are going to check and test everything that we learned about HTML and CSS. Alright, so without wasting any time, let's check it out. Okay, so create a folder. As you can see here, I have a folder, and inside this folder I have this file, a HTML, a home.html, and I have a folder that's written images. Inside it I have these images. I will actually link these images under the material so that you can do this. And we have this other folder written CSS. Inside it we are having this styles.css. So everything is empty then. Okay, even the about us, it's empty. Now let's get started. Okay, cool. So come here, say exclamation, and come to home, not the CSS one, say exclamation and tap to autocomplete there, and save this, change the title, then make sure that it's home. Alright, the next thing that we wanted to do here is to actually put that icon there. Let's start with it, this top icon here. Alright, so right now if we were to open this project, see there's no icon here, so let's put that logo icon there. So the way you do that, you just say link, and this is not a style sheet here, this is an icon, and that icon is inside images. And in our images, let's go to our images and see, this is our images, and this is the icon. So it's the logo small .jpg. So you just do that. Now let's go back to our site. When we refresh this, we can see that icon. Now that's progress. Cool. The next thing that we want to do is this header here. So our page is divided into three. Remember, it has a header, it has the main content, and the footer. So let's create those three. We will have the header and the main content and the footer. Okay, alright, so let's deal with the header there. So go up, let's make it look like this. So what we are going to do, we are going to use flag boxes. So let's create a class here and call this container, and this container of ours is going to have a div and dot item. So this is how you autocomplete a class that has a name like item. You click a dot, and then when you press tab M, it will autocomplete that. So we have 4 items inside this header, 1, 2, 3, and 4 with our logo, right? Alright, cool. Now, as you might have seen, these are links, right? As I'm hovering like this we want to link it with about us page and so on. So let's make sure that after this we have the anchor text, find all, and inside this just say anchor and the hashtag. So basically what I did, it was to press Ctrl F to find those things there. After that I click the find button, find all button. Okay, so this, it will be the about, this will be the gallery, and after the gallery is contact. Here it will be the logo, so it's img like this, and we already have the part for the logo. Okay, so just put it there. Okay, cool. Now let's refresh this. You'll see our things are now not styled, right? So let's come here in our styles and call this general styles. Okay, so these are going to be general. Let's make sure that our styles are linked to the HTML. So come here and say link, we are linking the style sheet. It's inside this folder CSS, right? If we come here, we are here, we are going to the CSS folder, and inside there we want it is style.css. So go to CSS, and then we want it is style.css, like that. Okay, cool. Now let's start and create our own CSS framework. Okay, so we'll start with padding and margin. So for padding, start padding 0. So what we are going to do here is padding and then say 0, and make sure this is a class like this, and this is going to simplify our process. You will see, okay, it's going to make things very simple for us. Okay, here we are going to use the 1 amp. So this is 1, is 2, 3, 4, I think let's go up until up to 5 and 5. Okay, so this is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and 0. Okay, now we can align this padding in a line like this, and the next thing that you might want to do, it's actually do the margin now. So the margin, we're going to say margin 0 again here, make sure it's a class. So this is going to be a margin of 0. Let's copy and paste this again, make it margin of 1, margin of 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so again this is going to be 5 em, and here we make it 5. This is 4, this is 4 em, 3 em, and 2 em, 2 here, 1 em, 1 there. Right, so before I actually doing margin, I was supposed to do the padding top and padding bottom, because those we are going to use a lot. So didn't do that, but we're just gonna do it after this. Okay, so let's make sure that we do that. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy this, come here and make it a PT. So wherever there's a T, a P, I put a T like this. Okay, so padding top. Okay, now let's make sure here it's padding top like that. Copy this, sure it's padding top. Padding top and padding. Okay, cool. We'll continue with the other ones as we go forward. Right, now let's see. So we are having a style like that. Now let's create a style for container. So here I'll say container, and we are going to make this display a flex box. So when we do that, you'll see that all these things will be aligned like this now. Okay, cool. And after this, let's make sure that our items, they fill up the whole space. So we say flex grow of 1. Okay, flex grow of 1. It's item, not items. Give it a flex grow of 1. Okay, now you can see that. Right, now we want our logo to occupy more space than the other ones, so let's just go and give our a logo and item here. Say this is the logo. Now we are going to style the logo separate, so let's come here. This is the header. Now it's no longer general styles. The header, we are having the logo, and make its flex scroll maybe 5 times the other ones, 4 times. So it's 5 times the smaller size of this. Okay, so now with that, let's actually do what? Alright, cool. So let's make sure that these things are aligned at the center like this. And the way we're gonna do that is actually come here and say the header container. So let's deal with the header container. Let me just put it here. So we're just gonna say header like this, and then dot container. Want it is, and then we will say elements here, items, align items at center. Alright, cool. So that is going to align these other items at center. Let's see. Now you see stuffs are at center there. Alright, so the other thing that we want from this is to actually make a border bottom. A border bottom to be thin, solid. For now, let's give it black. Okay, so because we want this line here. Okay, cool. Alright, fine. Okay, so another thing that we might want is to actually remove this margin. If you see, the body here has the margin, right? So let's go to the body and give it M0 class. So that class that we created here, these ones of margin, right? We just give it a class here like this, and that's going to make our body to be 0. Okay, so I didn't put it inside the body. Let's put it in our body here. Just say class of M0, and that should do it. Okay, cool. Now things are looking nice. Alright, so the next thing that I want us to do, let's do this part here. Let's do this part. So inside the main, that part is inside the main. We are going to give a div here, and inside this div we are going to have heading 1 and copy this text here, main title. Copy this, paste it here, and the other thing that we are going to have is a paragraph. So let's copy that paragraph, this paragraph, and paste it here. And one more last thing, it will be that intro button. So I'm just gonna say btn intro like this. Now we're going to give it an ID of btn intro, and then give it, become an anchor, make it an anchor, and say learn more here. Learn more like this. Alright, so cool. Let's refresh and see how our things are looking like. Alright, so this looks like a progress. So before we style this, can we get this font from Google? So just go to Google Fonts and type in Roboto, then select this font, the first one here. When you select it, you can see if you put it on your HTML file, you should use the link one, but if you put it on the CSS, you just have to copy this. So on our site, we are going to put it on our CSS. So we come to the CSS, we put it here. So we are going to say these are the fonts, imported fonts, and just paste that code here. Alright, so we are going to use that in our body. So in our body, make sure that everything, it has that font family. In fact, let's just come here and copy it from here, font family, and paste it here inside the body. Okay, cool. So let's refresh. Now you can see our things are looking nice, isn't it? So our things are looking nice. So another general style that I would like us to do is a text at center, like this. Okay, so here let's make it a class, text at center. So this is going to align our text at center whenever we want. So it's text align, and then it's like center. Okay, cool. So whenever we want, like now, when we want to center this, we're just gonna come here and go to the main div and give it a class of center here, like that, text center. Let's see what's happening. All right, it seems like it placed our things at the center. All right, so for our button intro here, let's give it a solid black for now. Our button intro is not actually here yet, so that will be inside main. So we have to create a main category here, and then say button intro. So hashtag btn intro, like that, and give it this style for now, black. So it's border, not border bottom, but the whole border around. Okay, cool. So let's see what's happening. All right, so that's what we are having right now. The other thing that we have to do here, let's make sure that its display, it's inline instead of that. So that's how it looks. Alrighty, so the next thing that we can do is actually give it a padding. So let's go there and give it a class of a padding of 1, like this. Okay, cool. Alright, so we are coming along. Let's actually give our paragraph check also that padding. So it's P1, like that. Alright, cool. So another thing that we can do, let's just make the border radius. Let's go and create a border radius style here. So we are going to call this one a border radius, and let's start it from 3. And this one we are going to measure it with pixels. Pixels are smaller than the EMs. It's like centimeters and meters, you know. So pixels will be like your centimeters, while EMs are like your meters. Okay, so here we are going to say border radius, and this is gonna be 3 pixels. We copy this several times. So yeah, I think that will be fine. So this is 3. Let's make the one for here, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all right. So That's fine. So here we can give our button a border radius of 5, for example, like BR5. Let's see how that looks. Alright, cool. I think let's go to 8. Alright, 8. I'm fine with 8. Alright, cool. So let's put some background and some overlay on this. So the way we're gonna put the background here, so this is what's happening here, right? So we want inside this container to have a background. So let's call it a main bg or bg main. Yeah, so here let's create a class called bg main and go and style it as that side. So we are in our header. No, we are in main. Okay, so here on main we will have a background image. Okay, so we are going to this URL. Alright, so right now our styles you see here, it's inside the CSS folder. So when you come here, it's inside our CSS folder. So what we want to go out and then go to this folder and then load this image. Okay, so the way we do that, going out is this. That means going out and then go to images once you are out, and then go to img0.jpg. Okay, cool. So let's see how this looks like right now. So if I were to refresh, I think I chose the wrong image. So let's check the spelling. So it's images. Alright, so we went out and then after going out we went to images and then to JPEG. Okay, so things look okay here. That means we didn't save. Let's just save here, save the changes and refresh our page. Alright, as you can see now, we can see that page of ours. Alright, so we want, whenever we have this background thing, let's just create a class for white text. Okay, so we can call it color white. Txt, let's say white, like that. Txt white. So this will work. Txt white. So this is just going to change the color and make it white. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, cool. So now let's take this and add it into our container here. After centering our text, make sure that everything is white inside that. Okay, cool. Another thing that I want us to do is actually give it some padding. In fact, let's not give it some padding. Let's add this overlay here. You see things are black here, and the way you add an overlay, you just create a div like this, and then we are going to call it an overlay. And also this overlay, let's we're going to create those different overlays, you know. Oh, I just left the main outside, so let's take this title too. Okay, so let's add this title here, and after that we can create our different overlays. So basically this would be just like our transparent thing, you know. So let's see how do we do that. So this will be our transparent background. So its background color like that, and we are going to use RGBA to style this. So if it's 7 like this here, that means it's going to be 0.7, of which is 7%, 70% I mean, like that. Okay, cool. So let me just create multiple of this. Okay, so right now if we go here, of course it's 0.7. You see our thing is now much more darker now. So we want it to start from 4, opposite of 4, 5, 5, 6, 7. No, let's start from 3. 2 in fact. So let's start from 2, then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 here. Okay, so this is 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and we can also create the one for 9, you know, like 90% opacity. So these are the ones that we could be using the most. Okay, now let's put them like this, save some space. Okay, cool. So now that we are done with that, all right, we want our overlay to have some padding there. So let's give it some padding, PD of 5 probably. Not PD, just padding, P5. Okay, so let's give it P5. Alright, cool. As you can see, now let's go back to our background image and add some and give it some more attributes. So all of them, they are for background image. So the positioning will make sure that the image is center, and again it's our background. The size, we want to make sure that this is covering the whole div, and now the background repeat, we want to make sure that it doesn't repeat. All right, cool. So now you can see this touch looks much more awesome. All right, so let's change our borders here. Wherever there's black, and make these things white now. Okay, cool. Now the next thing that I would like to do is actually make sure that this thing is floating on top of this. So basically we need the header to have a position. So let's go to header and make sure it has some position here, and the position is absolute. And after that, let's give it some width, because whenever you create the position you have to give it a width, and make sure it's 100% like that. Alright, cool. So now this is covering all of those things. That's awesome. So let's see what else it's there. Alright, so let's change this anchor text here, making sure that all the anchor text are, in fact, the ones here at the top for the header, let's make those ones to be white. So in the header, wanted the anchor text like this. This is how you select them. Say the color, want their color to be white. So okay, so it looks like we didn't select the right thing. So we're inside the header, then it's a div, then an anchor. So what we can do is to say like this. Yeah, I think this will work. So if you subtract that, all right, as you can see now that worked. And we also want, in fact, we also want this one for the button, intro button. There's also an anchor there. We want that one to be white also. Alright, cool. That looks promising now. Another thing, we want the decoration of these guys to be none. So text decoration none. Like that. Okay, cool. Now let's work out on the hovering of those guys. So whenever you hover over any anchor, in fact any anchor, when we hover over it, this we want the color to change to become orange, and we're gonna make the font weight to be bolder. Alright, so let's see what's happening. So when I hover now, you see when I hover over this. Alright, cool. So the next thing that we might want to do, you see here there's a padding, nice padding. Here there's no padding, so let's make sure that we add those paddings in our items. So each and every item should have a padding. Let's copy all of our items and add P1. Okay, cool. P1 like that. Let's see now. That looks okay. So another thing that we can do here on our header, here on our heading, create a padding top of 3 maybe. See, okay. All right, so I think 3 is too much, but yeah, I'm fine with it, no problem. And on this one, I think this, let's make this one too, paragraph. All right, so cool. Now that we have this, let's create the next part of this. Let's create these 2 sections here. Again, those ones, we are going to have a div, and this div is going to be a container, because we are going to use flexbox system. And inside this div, again, that means we are going to have 2 items, one, and in this item, let's make it h2. This will be article 1, and the other one will be article 2. Okay, so as you might have seen here, there's a paragraph tag. Let's go and copy the paragraph. It's like our paragraph there, put that there, and there's another one under this one. Copy this, put that here. Okay, and for this one also, it's actually a paragraph here. Let's put that paragraph here. And after the paragraph, you might have seen here that there's a breaking line, like there's a horizontal line that's separating an image. Now let's go and check what's this image. So going to our images, you can see that's img1. It's inside images, so copy that name, say images here, and then it's inside that. Okay, so let's refresh our page and see how things are looking like so far. Alright, so that's how things are looking like. This is promising. Alright, so let's do the border radius. Give this a class of a border radius. So it's br and make this maybe 8. Cool. So we have that border radius, and another thing that we can do here is to give our items what a padding. Give our items a padding of 1. So Control F, find all, come here, space P1. Alright, so now you can see things are separated. This is nice. We are getting ahead, guys. So but our text here is black and here it's kind of like grayish, so let's go and do that. We go to our body and make sure that the color of the fonts throughout it's this dark grayish 3B 3B 3B. Okay, save that. Now let's refresh this. You see now it's no longer black but dark gray. That's good. Alright, so what's next now? The next thing is to actually put this section here. Okay, so we are going to create a div for this. Let's just create that div, come here and create a div underneath this one. So div like that, and I think everything there is centered, so we might give it a text center, text center. Okay, and create a h2 here of this subtitle here. So we'll make it subtitle and create some paragraph there. Copy this paragraph, put it inside that. Let's see how things are looking like. Okay, so that's how things are looking like. The other thing that we want to do, let's just add that video. Let's add the video. So this is the video. You can always go to YouTube to watch it. So let's go to YouTube. So when we are on YouTube, we want to go to share so that we can go to embedded, and under embedded we can copy this embed code and then we put it after our paragraph tag here. So this should work fine. Let's refresh our page. There we go with our YouTube. Alright, now we wanted this background here. Okay, so like we did before, we are going to say this is a YouTube picture. So let's call it background background main. No, not background main. So let's call it background. What's the name of the image? We are going to use image2, so let's call it img2. I know. So we give it a class and say img2, so background of image2. Copy this, go to our styles in main. Okay, site main, have this class, and it will be similar to this one. Copy everything here. The only different, it will be the name of the image. The name of the image here is going to be img2. Copy that, come back and see. This should give us a background image. Did I save this? Come here, save this. Okay, img2 bg img2. Okay, so let's refresh and see what's happening. Okay, as you can see, now we have all that. Alright, so the next thing that we can do is text wide, right? Making sure that our text inside that it's white like that. Okay, cool. Refresh this. You can see now our text is white. Let's add some overlay like we did before. Yes, so it's going to be simple because we just have to wrap everything here inside a div of an overlay. Make it maybe 5, this one. No, so it's div dot overlay. Okay, yeah, cool, like that. Then copy all these things, put them here. Of course, after making our overlay, we have to give it a padding, you know. But let's go and see how things are looking like right now. Nice. Okay, so let's give our overlay a padding, like padding of 2. All right, so now as you can see, these things really look similar now. All right, so let's come here and add the footer. We are almost done. So in the footer, we are going to create a class again. This is going to be a container. Okay, no, before we create this one as a container, must be div like this, dot container, dot container, like that. Okay, cool. And then tab inside this container will have different things. Going to have divs of items. Inside the item will have like h4, and then that's where we say footer title 1, footer title 2, footer title 3, so different items like that, 5 of them. So this is footer title 5, 4, 3, 2, for example. Now inside that item, we are going to make sure that this is followed by let me just copy this, that this is followed by, it's followed by what's this, that is followed by the links. Okay, so let's create those li lists. So let's look for everywhere where we can find this. Okay, search for this. Alright, cool. So in fact, the easiest way is to search for these alone, all of them. Alright, so after that, press enter and say li. Inside this li, make an anchor and then a hashtag here inside, and then we are going to make these things links. So it will be like link 1, and when you copy this, again select all of those. So when you copy this, link 2, 3, 3 is enough, like this. Okay, so let's make this 2 and then this 3. Alright, save everything there. So let's look at how our website is looking like so far. Alright, it's having these links here. Okay, so let's make sure the style our footer here. Come style our footer, save footer, and we want this list to have a non-list style. Okay, so that's a non-list style. Now the next thing that we want to do is to deal with these anchors. Okay, so these other anchors, we are going to give them a background color of 3b3, so 3b3b3, okay, and text decoration of none. All right, so now it looks like everything is coming well. So let's make sure that our items again here, they have a padding of 1. Find all this and add some padding of 1. Alright, so this is nice. Now the only thing that is left, let me see, let's add this div with that text in them for company. So after this, make sure we add another div. This div will only contain this, and it has a class of text, text center, nothing more. Alright, cool. Now it looks like we are done developing this. The only thing is to make sure that our things are responsive. Am I checking the right one? Yes, so let's make sure that our things are responsive. So here, let's give this one a padding of 1 also. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to do with our responsiveness, let's see. For that, we are going to use media query. So let's start here. Let's start with this guy here. Now, we want, when we reduce this to 800 like this, it's like 800, below 800, this part should separate. Okay, so let's go to our styles and add at the top there, and add media queries. Alright, so this is add media, and then screen on maximum width, we set 800 pixels. Okay, once it's 800 pixels, we want it to do what? We want this container here, the div container, the only div container. So we want that div container, div dot container, to change its flex direction to column instead of row. Okay, cool. So let's see what's happening. Now we are less than. Cool, it looks like it did that. The next thing that we want the text alignment to be at center. Okay, alright, so let's refresh that. Oh, now you see those things are at center. This is nice. Alright, so it also did that for the future, which is actually cool. I have no problem with that. No, like this, I think it's awesome. It looks fine like this. So okay, so the other thing that we want these things to disappear. So let's see the menu. Before we make it to disappear, let's actually add the other. Let's add the other image. Okay, so this is going to be the menu img, the menu button, like that. Cool. Alright, so inside this going to have an image. It's inside images, I know, just forgot the name, its name. Let's go and check it. Inside images, what's its name? Okay, this is its name. Let's copy this, come and paste it here. Refresh our page. Alright, as you can see there, it's our button there. Now by default this button we want it to be off, of course. So let's come to our header. Where's header? Alright, after doing these things here, we want our button, our menu button, to make it a class. Or yes, we made it a class. So this menu button, want not to display under default conditions. Okay, so now when we hide the menu items here, so let's just start hiding this when we are like on 400. So in fact on 500. So then let's say we're just going to hide our menu items, where this one's our navigation items. So it's header, then item. So the header child is dot item, that we wanted this to display none when we are on 400, like that. So the display should be none when we are on 400 for this one. Is this 400? Yes, it's 400. So it closes everything, even the logo. So let's tell it not to do that to the logo. So we are not gonna do this to our logo. Did we give our logo an ID? Or yes, it's an ID. So not to the logo, do it to the other items, but leave the logo alone. Okay, cool. Now we have to display our menu button. Make sure our menu button displays as these guys hides. Alright, so here this display is going to be a block like that. Cool. So let's see now when we do this. Alright, it seems like we have to make it important. Alright, cool. So that it overrides the other style. Alright, it looks good. The only thing now is just to make sure that our button has some padding here. Padding of 1, I think. Alright, so that's perfect, guys. I hope you really enjoyed this video. So basically this video was about teaching you how to create a responsive website, and at the same time, while it also teaching you how the CSS frameworks work, you know, like Bootstrap and so on. So we are going to continue with this project in the next videos, you know, like especially for once we include the JavaScript, so that when we click here now in the menu, we can see that menu, you know. So right now our menu is not showing up. So let me make sure that when we hover over this menu button, by the way, it actually shows. So let's work on that here. Make sure that when we hover over it, the cursor there, it becomes a pointer. Alright, so let me see. Yeah, that looks perfect. Okay, so we can even extend this padding here, and maybe padding here, maybe make it 2. All right, cool. So yeah, that was it, guys, when it comes to making this simple responsive website. I'll see you on the other videos.